So now we are going to talk about test case development. So if you see in our testing life cycle, we got to know about requirement analysis, and we understood about test planning, and the next stage of test life cycle is test case development, and this is what we are going to discuss now. A test case template, okay, test case template will looks like this: test case summary, test types, test types, functional test cases, okay, functional test cases. Do not worry, we are going to talk about each and every section and each and every cell, okay. So right now I'm just showing how a test case document will looks like, okay. So if you see, so in the very beginning we said, right, a test case will be having test steps and expected output and the result, pass or fail, right, pass or fail, okay. And each test case will also be having a test case id, okay. So there are some more columns, will when we come to here we'll be discussing those, and non-functional test cases, okay. So test case summary is nothing but just you have to say what is the future name and who is the tester, okay. So okay, let's leave it. So what is the future name and who is the tester for it, who is the tester, okay. So the tester name you have to write, okay, something like this. And when it comes to test types, there are, you know, all your testing is depends on based on test types are applicable for your feature, okay. So these are the test types. Let's take a example. Mm, okay, let's take an example. So this is a web page, assume it is a web page. There is a username, password, okay, perfect. Now it's a web page which is having a username field and the password field and a login button and a button, okay. So now tell me what are the test cases you can able to write it here, okay. When I say test case is nothing but a set of actions or set of test steps and expected output, okay. You need to tell, so what are the actions, what are the test steps for each test case, and what is the expected output, okay. So let me tell one scenario for you or understanding. So enter a valid username and valid password, click on the password button, I should able to see the welcome page, okay. Enter username as invalid, password as valid, click on the login button, I should see a error message saying password username which is entered as invalid. Now one by one or everyone whoever you, however it want, okay, please tell me some test cases here. What are the other test cases we can write it? It's very important. Based on that only we are going to talk about the remaining topics from now onwards. Just guess it, okay. It's I know it's starting point for you. I'm not expecting that you have to tell exactly as it is or right. Okay, so if you tell wrong also, I'm very much happy.
What you're saying, guess what are the
Yeah,
test
test
cases?
cases, exactly. Two test cases I have told right now, just now. Okay, so tell me other things. What do what do you thought about? So our job is to break the system, and our job is to write the test cases and execute it. All right. So what are the test cases? We can write it. Just give me few things. What, at least one, two, like that. Hmm? Do some. Yes, yes.
So if we enter the right username and right password, we should be able to see the home screen.
Okay, exactly. Yes. What else?
What about any integration testing? One
Um, Right now, we don't have any other module. We just that's a good valid point. But right now, we don't have any other module. We just have a single module, that is login page. Okay. So in the login page itself, I said two things. Right. One is valid username and valid password, and invalid username and valid password. Okay. Any other? Any other? Do apply permutation combination. Okay, let me tell some test cases and tell me whether it is correct or not. Okay, so apply valid username and invalid password. That's one more test case. Click on login button. Okay, enter more than the specified characters on the username. Okay, so username allows only 9 characters, but you try to enter 11 characters. Okay, and see it is whether it is allowing it or not. Okay, but the maximum allowed characters are 9, but it is if it is
we can
allowing more
also
than that, yeah, it's a failure. Yeah,
we
go ahead.
can also say watch for the cap locks. Case sensitive.
Exactly, absolutely right, absolutely right. Okay, yeah. So you know so username doesn't allow caps lock. Okay, capital letters, everything should be in a small letters. That's one thing you can write, one test case. And password, when you enter the password should not be displayed. That is one test case. And password, length of the password should not be more than 8 characters. Okay, try to enter 9 characters, try to give a 9 character password, it should not allow. Okay, that's one thing. And
So
yeah,
you're speaking to we're setting up test cases to see what would be the outcome. So we're trying different things to see what the outcome will be.
exactly. Okay, that's right. Okay, what are the test case, let me tell you. So password make password should be maximum of 8 characters. Try to enter the password with 9 characters, and the expected output should be a error message should be displayed saying the entered number of characters are more than 8. It should be below on or below 8 characters. That's one test case. So each test case will be having set of test steps and a expected output. Okay, without which it's not a test case. And what happens? Okay, you are not only the one person, right, who is working on the login page. There are multiple people trying to, let's say it is a Facebook login page. Okay, there are multiple people trying to log in the Facebook. Okay, what happens there? Okay, so it should allow everyone to log in, right? Because so does anybody, anytime Facebook or Gmail site there are too many people are logging, so I can't allow you to log in now. Okay, so it's not like that, it has to allow. That's one thing. And when too many people are using your application, okay, so your application should be, it should be responsible. Okay, it is in responsiveness. Okay, so Even though too many people are using your application, the application should be responsible. Okay, so when you log in, it should be able to log in. Okay, that's one thing. That's about performance test case. Okay, like that there are many test cases will come into picture. We'll look into that.
I have a question.
Yeah, please.
So as a tester, are we supposed to come up with these test execution plans, or are we given these plans so we can test them?
So as a testers, we have to write the test cases.
So we have to write the test cases.
We have to understand the future or functionality or the requirement. We have to design this document. Okay, this particular template will be already there. Okay, you have to follow this template and write the test cases. You have to fill these things. That's it.
Okay.
Okay, so that's one thing. If you understand this one, more than 60% of testing you understood. That's over. More than 60% of testing concepts are done.
I
And
understand.
most of our, yes,
And
go
this
ahead.
Excel,
Yes,
are you able to send us a copy of this Excel document?
definitely. I'll be sending to you.
Thank you.
Yeah, no issues. Okay, so that's one thing. Let's take a example of pen. Okay, so you take the pen and write it on the paper and make sure it is working fine. That's one thing. And you press the, sorry, you press the button, pen button, and the button is pressable, and that's the second thing. And you make sure the refill is fully, there. The ink in the refill is fully there. It's not like half done. That's one thing. And you try to drop the pen on the floor. It should not be breakable. Okay, you just from your hand by mistake a pen is dropped on the floor. Okay, by that, by itself, if it is broken, so what is the quality of a pen? It's very bad, right? You have to make sure that as a tester you have to make sure that even if a pen is dropped from the floor, dropped from the hand, and it will fall down on a floor, okay, it should not be breakable. It shouldn't be broken. That's one test case. So what is this test case we called? Okay, so we're dropping the pen to the floor and making sure it is not broke. Okay, so this is one kind of test we do. And we try to broke the pen. We ourselves try to broke the pen. As a tester, we try to broke the pen, and we'll find out at which level. Okay, at which level, after applying, how much stress on the pen it is broken. Okay, so you'll be doing stress testing. Okay, you're trying to break it. Okay, you'll break it. Okay, at which, after applying, at which stress level it is breaking. Okay, at which load level it is breaking, something will be noted down. Okay, so all those things we'll be doing it. And these kind of stressing the things, okay, throwing the things, we call it as non-functional test cases. Okay, and writing the pen and writing taking a pen and writing it on a paper, and looking whether the pen is pressable or not, and looking into the refill whether it is fully there or not. These are functional test cases when you are applying some stress. Okay, when you're trying to identify the responsiveness of the pen. Okay, so let's say if you're writing, even though you are writing it fast, but pen is not allowing you to write it on fast. Okay, so the ink is coming very slowly, so you are unable to write it on a paper very fast. Okay, so because of the pen you are unable to write it on fast. Okay, so that is the responsiveness. Okay, as and when you write, the ink also should come out, and it has to, the flow has to go. If it is not happening like that, it's a failure from the pen. So that is the responsiveness. And stressing the things and applying the load, all these things comes into non-functional testing. Okay, so what you require to remember here is there are two kinds of testings. One is functional testing and non-functional testing. So especially in the non-functional testing, we'll be applying some load on the pen, okay, on the product. Okay, or we'll be applying stress on the product, or we'll be throwing it. Okay, and what happens if thousands of people are trying to use the product at the same time. Okay, so what happens, you see, right, at the December 31st, so how your messages will work. If you send a message after 1 day or after 1 hour, at least it will take 1 hour to reach to your friend. Okay, at the December 31st at the night, no, exactly 12 o'clock, if you try to send a message, it will not immediately reach to your, to the destination. It will take some time to reach it, because at the same moment there are so many people are sending the messages, and to handle it, it will take some time. Okay, but your message will be delivered. Okay, so the message can be delayed, but it should be delivered. That's what the expectation of user, at least. And as a tester, you have to make sure that all this comes into non-functional testing. Okay, so in each category there are set of test types. There are set of test types. In functional testing there are set of test types, and in the uh, non-functional testing there are set of test types. Okay, like Sunny is telling that integration testing. Okay, it's there here. Okay, so in our next class we'll be exploring all these test types, and we'll take a future. Okay, for a login future, and what are the test types are applicable, and for each applicable test types, how we can write the test cases, we are going to see in here. We are going to see in that in our next class. Okay, anyway, I'll be sending this document to you right now. What we are going to do is I will be briefly explaining. So we'll talk about what is functional testing and whether it is applicable for a login feature or not. We'll talk about what is integration testing and will it be applicable for logging feature or not. Okay, we'll talk about database testing, and we'll talk about whether it is applicable or not. Okay, so we'll talk about all these test types, and we'll talk about whether it is applicable to our future or not. Okay, and if it is applicable for each test type, we have to write some test cases. Okay, that's how we are going to do that. We'll meet in our next class to complete this test case design. Okay, so I'll be sending this document to you anyway.